Hello all, welcome back. And this session is about components of mobile applications. So again, to make you comfortable in mobile testing, so I am trying to give you the complete information about those apps, and you will be able to figure out what we are going to discuss in the course of time. And I just wanted to show you this first slide, which is file types. In Android, the file you are downloading and installing in your Android app is APK, application packaged file. It's again it's kind of you just compare that with a zip file. You can do that. So being a mobile tester, in various formats your developers, engineers give you this APK. They probably give you access to a folder where the releases will be available in, for example, your application is test application, test.apk will be there. They will ask you to pick up from there. So you will obviously download from there, or they can even mail you this APK to test. Then you can use an USB cable to install it, and then or you can just put it in an SD card and then you can click on it and then it will get installed. Or you can also directly open your mail, and from there you can tap on the attachment itself and then it will directly install. The only problem you may face is like it will show unsupported file types. That obviously you have to approve it in your settings application. Now I am showing you the simulator. So if you are installing any unsupported file type, then obviously your emulator or your device will give you pop-up. Then you can be able to get there and give the permission for unsupported apps as well. So that is how it goes. These are all my downloaded apps. I download from there. So obviously you will download your apps from Android market if you are just an user. That time you will not get the APK. You cannot download a APK directly from any other markets. So they will only give you the app directly. So as I told you, you have multiple methods to install your Android application. So maybe there are methods like you can do this adb install, and then if you, for example, if it is in C drive, you can say C test.apk. This will install your APK which is available in that folder if it is available. And to uninstall an application, adb uninstall, and this time you will not give a path because once it's installed it's become a package. So com.test, the path, this one you will get it from your Eclipse, what is the package name of your application, and your developer also can tell you. I can showcase you that as well. So this is how you go. But this session is about the components of application. What is inside an APK? Same way there is other file type is like iPhone is IPA, and it will all, if it is a market release, then it will be .app app, and Windows Phone is .xap. BlackBerry, they will give you card files .cod, and Symbian .sys files. I think, I'm sorry, it should be sys files, and Java and MITP .jar files they will give you. You can ignore these three, and some extent it is required, this jar, but these are all the top three you will be really doing, because the market is already consolidated this two inside this. That is how it goes. And now, as I told you earlier, this session is about what is inside an APK. So to unzip an APK, your normal zip program works. If you are a Windows user, your normal zip program works. But if you are a Windows user, I want to suggest you the 7-zip. It's a zipping tool. 7zip.org. I request you to download this one if you are in Windows, because it will unzip files much faster than any other zip program, and it's completely free. So this is how it goes. Let's go back to our slide. So I use 7zip. So I have Opera Mini web browser applications APK. So I do this 7zip and I extract to a folder. So the APK file I'm extracting to a folder. So that is how it goes. Sorry about the previous error. And now once I tap on that, I rightly extract, and it's going to give me a folder like this. So this is what I extracted. This is the first folder, is the extracted folder. Now because it's a folder, so my APK is being extracted now. This is APK file, you can see that, and now it's extracted to a file folder. Now this is a folder, and so I have different folders: assets, lib, meta, inf, res, resource folder, and Android manifest XML file, classes text file, resource ARSC. So do you really need this? Do you really going to use this in your day-to-day testing activity? To some extent, no. If you are going to be a mobile tester and you are going to be an advanced mobile tester, you will be really doing this to extract your APK, re-sign your APK into your own machine certificate, and then you will do some kind of automation. That we will take a look at those techniques when we do the Calabash session or any other automation session, even Robotium as well to the some extent. So sorry about that. So now I will go further in this. I have a meta inf folder. If I open it, these are all the certificates, the cert files, the algorithm certificates, RSA, Android ID, Android D.RSA, Android D.SF, manifest MF. These are all files. At this point in time, you just need to you don't need to really worry about it. There is another app I have here. So I just extracted or opened it. So in that I have an app, and I have the DSYM file and git revision and the ad hoc provisioning profile of that. That is an iPhone app, and so in iPhone app, obviously you will not really do anything much by extracting and all that. It's very closed stuff. But how you will install it, you can just go to your library. You open iTunes, go to library, and you can import, or I just wanted to say this, add folder to the library. Whatever folder developer gives you as an app, you just need to add that as a folder inside, and then once you sync it, your application will automatically come down there in your app, so in your iPhone. Now this is Windows Phone. Windows Phone, obviously Windows Phone is the zap file, and so Windows Phone, you need the same way you need iTunes to install iPhone apps, you need Zune to install Windows Phone apps, and you also need to have the Zap installer, XAP installer, available in your machine, and then only you will be able to install it. Once the moment you open it, you can say Windows 7 or Windows 8, and wherever file, zap file is there, you can do that, browse it, and then you can deploy it, will deploy it. So now I extracted a zap file, it's called comicsreader.zap, and I extracted it, and down there it's resources, the icons, and the XAML manifest file, background image, and then there is a dynamic link library, DLL, comics reader DLL, splash screen image, JPEG, and app manifest, Windows mobile app manifest.xml. These are inside the inside files, because it's just a zip format. I wanted to showcase you that what is really in there. So I opened 3 pages. What is, to explain you what is there, there is a manifest file you can notice in the, even in the development environment. So this is our, now we are going to take a look at what is this manifest. Okay, so this is our test project. Okay, so I think I had created in front of you earlier, but I can create one more if you really want. Now new Android application project. Okay, mtest, project name mtest. So mtest com.mtest, and then I press next, and next, go back, make this project as a library. No, it's not a library, it's a application. So I'm not writing a service. I go there, clipart. If I need to choose anything, I can choose it here. The font of the app, I can select it here. So there are too many options are there, but I just want you to just take a look at the manifest XML, so we can see that later. And obviously you are not going to develop anything new, so we can just go with this. As I told you before, Android, anything is an activity, so it's a full screen activity. Any background service is a process, so it's process, it's a service, but we didn't really selected this as a service. So this mtest we are creating just right now, it's getting created. This is it, the mtest. If you see, the skeleton of the app is been created, the source, there is Java files, there is icons, and there is the manifest XML file. So this will be packed along with the app. So if you take a look at this one, uses what SDK, it not uses SDK, and this is a XML, direct XML file, whether it is what are the capabilities of this app, and if it is only for 2.3 OS and above, it will be displayed here, it will be added here, and different app permissions you can add. So application, whether it is debuggable for example theme, logo, and for example if you want the application to be debuggable, if you set true here and then if you save it, the information will be saved in the manifest XML file. So if you see Android debuggable true, then people will be able to debug it, because like when you because every time the developers will create and release build and debug build, so when you really in a testing environment, they will give you the debug version of the build in, so they will enable multiple the levels of logs for you to analyze it. So that is how it goes. So now I got the project. So there is small error there, and it's actually a warning, but I can fix that by right clicking. Okay, just forget it. So I'm just going to run it, run as Android application. Since I already have my virtual device, so it will be obviously running. You may be wondering why this is a little too much for a mobile tester, but I'm saying that it's not. It's obviously required in order to being a good mobile tester. You should really know what is a manifest and whether it is debuggable, true, false, different flags, and it should be there. So now I can even show you a different view in Eclipse, which is DDMS view, where you can see the log levels. So you can see that. So these are all the, this is log. I just drag a little bit up. So this is the logs of the app which is actually running. So it's been running now. I tap on the dummy button and then you can see that it's actually something is happening down there. So, and also I can see what is the package name, because it's really required if you want to issue that to uninstall it. So that is how it goes. So this session is all about, no, now I'm pulling up iPhone emulator. No, I'm just pulling, this is the emulator, and so this is how it goes. This session is all about, I wanted to relook it. It is about the what is an APK and what is inside an APK. So as I showcased you, there will be meta-INF where certificates will be available, and you will be bothering about that in a little later when you are doing automation, etc. But at this point in time, I just want you to know what is inside that, and it shouldn't be a black box for a tester, an advanced mobile tester. So this is IPA file. It's an iOS application archive file which stores an iOS app. It's usually encrypted with Apple's FairPlay DRM technology. Hope you are aware of DRM. DRM is Digital Rights Management. So because your app shouldn't be distributed without their own app store. That is why they embed certain keys such as certificates in there in order to make sure that it's not misused. That is why the DRM is used inside an iPhone app. So each IPA file is compressed with a binary for the ARM architecture and can only be installed on an iOS device. So you cannot install an iOS application in an Android phone or a Windows phone, because it's compressed with an architecture which only understood by iOS devices. Files with the IPA extension can be uncompressed by changing the extensions to zip and unzipping. You can do that very simply. If an IPA file, you can just unzip it, but it is not really necessary as a mobile tester level. IPA files cannot be installed on the iPhone simulator because they do not contain a binary for x86 architecture. I'll show you the iOS simulator. This is a simulator. I cannot install this an IPA, which is a market app, because you can see that there is no iTunes or App Store here. I cannot install it here, but I can run from my Xcode. I can show you the Xcode. I can run it from my Xcode. Okay. Also, I'll be able to showcase you how can you create a simple test app in Xcode. Maybe I can show you right now. New project. Here it is, master detail application or a OpenGL game or page-based application, single view application, tabbed application, utility application, or an empty application. So I just go for a master detail application. Obviously I'll give a project name mtest, organization name, company identifier, there is a class prefix, and I say yes, because if you get Mac and if you need to pull up your emulator or simulator for the first time, you should be able to use what I am doing right now. So I just create a folder there, and it just creating a local Git repository, and then my app is just there, and there is a bundle ID which is really required in many places, because when you are submitting your app it need a bundle ID, and the bundle ID is the same as the testing.mtest is the bundle ID here, and com.mtest is the bundle ID in Android. So you can just think about that, and you can compare that with Android. So now I have the app ready. I can choose the emulator here. So I'll live with, at this point in time, 3.5 inch iPhone Retina, and then I'm just going to run it. And this is our product mtest is .app. This will be created when you run it and when you build it. You can also clean build. You can press the command Shift K, it will clean it and then build it. So right now I'm just going to build and run the current scheme. It succeeded, and obviously I'll be able to see the result in my simulator in some time. In the meantime, we can go and take a look at what is inside an IPA. It's like there is a payload folder, payload application, app, iTunes artwork, iTunes metadata.plist. This is a structure of an IPA file, and quite simple, right? So now let me just check whether my app is actually, yeah, the master detail app is been running now, and yeah, it's quite simple. Yeah, so that is how it goes. And let's go back to Zap. This is Windows Phone, and as I showcased you already, there will be a DLL inside. A link library will be inside, and it will also have a manifest XML file. So there is resource folder, manifest file, and the DLL of that app. So this is how it goes. So I showcased you the top 3 application file formats, what is inside an packaged file, and hope you'll be able to use that when you're doing testing. So I'll see you again in another session. Thank you.